So many moms feel stuck and isolated, like they've got to keep it all together and can't say how hard it really is. On Let's Get Real, we talk about the real stuff, motherhood, mental health, and everything in between, so you don't feel like you have to carry it alone anymore. Because in order to heal, we have to get real. If you're feeling overwhelmed, grab the Overwhelmed Mom's Guide. It's totally free and made to help you feel like yourself again. The link is in the show notes. Let's pick up where we left off. Here's part 2.
I'll cry. And for him was like, you cry? I say, of course I cry. I laugh, but I cry as well. And it made me actually realize that if we don't show our kids that it's okay not to be okay. And before I used to tell, of course, I'm not going to cry in front of him to make him feel sorry for me, because that's going to the other extreme. Yeah. But he made me realize that often as a parent or as a friend, even my friends, they say, oh, Pam, you're so strong. Most of them, they're going to get to know my life through the book because I was always the problem solver a lot for them. You need advice? Come to Pam. You need something to fix? Pam. Because I've been fixing all my life.
Right.
And I actually gave myself that role without even realizing it. And that's where putting pieces together, or clients, they come just to speak or wanting an extra appointment, just to have an extra hour with me. And they say, you help me more than a psychologist.
Wow.
Because you put actually the words into it, like phobia and anxiety and panic attack. For me, phobia and anxiety, they are identical twins. They are the same, yet different.
Wow.
Think about it, the way they come up. You have no explanation. It just come up, your hands get a bit cold, watery, you start sweating, you're losing control of your even common sense, you can say, because you cannot even explain it. But often it came from something, triggered by something, that it's a smell, a sound, even a taste of something, that it brings it up. And boom, you're transported, your brain is thinking, alarm, alarm, alarm. So you lose all your capacity to stay calm. Yeah. Phobia and anxiety. And then you have your little sister, for me, and that's panic attack. It just stormed in.
Yeah.
And why is the little sister? It doesn't announce itself because it's had enough. You came to the limit and it explodes. It doesn't tell you, oh, it's coming, you know, like you start sweating, you don't know, you're breathing, you start breathing fast, like I have no air.
Yeah.
I went one time in 1 month, 40 times to the hospital, thinking I was dying. And I said, I don't know, there is something wrong. I did tests for my lungs, for my heart, everything. The doctor said, you're healthy. I say, it's not possible. I feel I'm going to die. There is something wrong.
Yeah.
Then he sat next to me, that doctor I will never forget. And he said, I was going through my divorce. I had a small kid. So he said, how is your life now? And I said, it's nothing about my life. This is about you or the doctor. You need to help me, you know? He said, I think you need to go and speak with someone. Last time I spoke with people was when I was in an orphanage. Because of age of 12, I went to an orphanage. So that's there. They put me with trauma specialists, psychologists, psychiatrists, hypnos. You know, the woman who used to take care of me, like the social worker. I went last year to see her in Barcelona because I found her. She used to work in Belgium. I went to visit her and said, thank you because you were closest for family for me. From my 7 years old, I want to thank you. And she said, Pam, for all the cases I saw, I told you will never survive. You can't imagine what this means to me. Wow. I met her kids, I met her mother, and she was very proud. Even in my book, I made a dedication for her, 𝗔𝗕l. So I learned to recognize people who are also good and who gives you also that energy. So for that, you have to be able to want to fight and get out of it.
Yeah.
And really see like a problem. Sometimes it's a solution.
It's true.
And think about it. Before having your kids, things that didn't happen, or meanwhile, how many things you thought it was the end, but actually it was the beginning for something amazing.
Yep. Exactly. And that's a big part of your story that stands out to me. It's
Yeah,
the theme of turning pain into purpose, where it's
power.
something
Yes,
that
purpose
is
and power. Yes.
exactly purpose and power. I love that because it's taking the unimaginable where you like could not possibly see how this could be transformed into something that could bring some form of good, although none of it was good. And yet that's what you're doing. And one of the things I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm hearing like you getting to have your clients come in being like, hey, I actually need extra time with you. Because I don't know if you know this, but I know in the States, what they've been doing lately with any, I have a couple friends who are hairdressers, but they are now taking courses like kind of in therapy type courses where they're not therapists, but that's because so many people open up and share to them there.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I could see how your clients are like, there's something about Pamela who like she understands and she's not afraid to name these things and to say it
And don't judge them.
and
And
to
that's very important.
exactly where you're not judging them. But the thing is what I assume, but so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking like they're getting these snippets from you where you're able to name like here's phobia and panic attack, anxiety, but they didn't maybe at that point prior to you writing your book understand the depths of your story to like how you know so much about that. So in writing the book and now sharing publicly where it's piecing these little snippets that people have had like together in the bigger story and theme of what you've gone through, it's kind of like, oh, whoa, now I see why she has so connected with me in my pain. Like I didn't know
Sure.
that all of this before. I've heard snippets. And so I could imagine, I'm also curious what you found, like what has surprised you the most about speaking the truth of what's happened to you, like in writing the book or sharing, like what surprised you the most and finally just getting to put it together and now share this publicly.
For me, it's part of my healing. Some people write songs. I wrote a book. And for me, it's, and actually, any good advice I can tell anyone who's going to things or just start writing, get it out of your mind. If you can't speak with someone about it, I don't say all go run to psychiatrists or psychologists and medication. Medication, it's like you put, you have a wound, you don't disinfect it and you just put, it's a short-term solution.
Yes.
If some people have to keep using medication because of other chemical parts in the brain, that's another story. But on a daily, you have to work, not just go for the short term. And for me, writing that book gave me the capacity to actually not feel ashamed anymore because I own my path.
Yes.
No one can come in front of me and tell me you are this or that or think that my pain wasn't that important. Oh, but they saved you from Africa. But do you actually know really what happened in there? And when the first book came out and I removed it from sale after the betrayal of my friends, to be honest, Jenna, I thought I'm not going to publish it now because I've been having so many backlash about the book. And then I told myself, that little voice told me, that means the book has to come out.
Yeah.
And this is not me taking the glory. Oh yes, but look, she changed. She thinks she knows everything. Well, if it's your idea, it means your fear because I'm actually speaking.
Yeah.
So don't portray yourself that you are me or you think you know me. The only person that actually know my fears, my pain, what I went through is me and a little bit my brother and my sister.
Yeah.
And often they told me you made it look nicer than it actually was in reality.
Wow.
Because I used to find small things, to create that happiness. Even in the darkest days, I will go with them in the middle of the night, sneak out at the fountain, throw a coin and praying for one day to be able to have a happy life where food wasn't a problem. Does it leave scars? 100%, because my fridge in my homes are always full.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Always full.
Yeah.
And I feed everyone. Why? Because I was lacking it. But is it a bad thing to deal with? Actually, no, because whatever there is, I will find someone that I can give it to.
Yeah.
So that is a part of my healing.
I could see that. And it's also so empowering because as you talk about the theme of pain into power, you getting to share and speak, it is empowering. And it does blow my mind when people make comments like that, whether they intend to cause some harm or not, of oh, well, they rescued you from Congo. Okay, so you went from being in an environment that would have been physically abusive to then being transferred into an environment that was emotionally and verbally abusive and physically. It's still
and
abuse.
Sexually as well.
And
because
sexually.
that was the other part as well. Because my aunt used to know. I mean, it was in the family. They knew, and they even made it belittle, like making it was me, the one who was dirty.
Yes.
So you carry certain shames. You should have never had to carry them.
No.
And I wish I heard someone on a podcast or somewhere speaking, and I have zero filters. And I tell them, if I bother you, take your shades, put them on, or cover your face. But I will not dim myself for your comfort.
Yes.
I will speak with my truth, my story, because I own my story.
You do, yeah. And for anybody who's been in a situation similar to that, the details may be different, but the themes are the same of any type of abuse. Just to hear somebody name the pain and name the darkness that was happening, that is significant to finally move that person into healing and being like, I'm not crazy and I'm not the only one, which is so hugely important. That is absolutely what we need. And it also is, it just blows my mind too, how the adults that, try to protect when they are their role is to protect, but really they shift things around to be like, you will protect me. As kids, just to survive that relationship, we will turn on ourselves without even realizing it. So then thinking oh, it must be me. I am bad. I'm that's when we cloak ourselves in shame from what somebody else has done because they're wanting us to protect them. So there's a cost to that. And it's a cost to ourselves where we turn on ourselves and think we are bad. There's something wrong with us, and that isn't true. And so I'm just so glad that you are sharing this because there are far too many people who have experienced abuse of many kinds, and it's still hidden in the dark, and they need people like you and sharing your story to be.
And like you, Jenna, as well, because thanks to you, we're having this podcast. And what I will add on that is when you are a giver, you have zero limits. A giver has no limits. So you have to surround yourself with givers. If you are a giver and you put yourself with a taker has no limits. It will take everything from you because you don't have a limit as a giver and the taker has no limits. So it's very, very important who you surround yourself with. And that's why they say it takes one rotten apple to rotten the whole bunch of nice, beautiful apples.
Yes.
And speak of your friend, I had recently a friend who told me, oh, you're too skinny now. You're this. You're too high. I mean, too tall because I was wearing heels. And I looked at her and I say, what do you mean too tall? Yeah, you're already tall and now you're wearing heels. You look like a giant. I say, honey, it's not my fault. You're short, but if I'm bothering you, obviously, because you have to get it out of your chest, maybe you stand over there because I'm already standing here. As much as I liked our friendship before, it's ending here unless you will understand what you just said. But giving small comments like this, slide one by one, and often we get those little beniddling things like comments, and it shatters a bit you as the glowing person. Oh, you look a bit this, you that. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. Are you God or are you a person to tell me how I should live my life? And keep your private life private unless you know it's your close friend. And I can count them on one hand and I'm very rich.
Yes.
Because I have something beautiful on. They will say, put this earring. You look stunning. They will not comment, oh, your hair looks too wild. You this, you that. They like me to shine because I make them shine and vice versa. And if you don't have people like this, it's better to be alone than being with the wrong people. I prefer to do solo trips than being with the wrong people. Because you feel more lonely when you're with the wrong people.
That is so true. It is so true. And the loneliness, it aches even more when you're around people and you don't feel like you are actually seen and known or heard.
And it's a disappointment as well, because you actually love them. But it's also with your lack of love. People change. People change. So are you.
Yeah.
What you wanted in your 20s, you don't want it at your 30s or at your 40s or at your 50s, whatever age you are. You evolve. Some people stay stuck in the past. It's like a train passing by in your life. You have to know, because you are driving your train. That's your life. Who you're going to keep in the train and who's going to take the step out.
Yes. Yeah,
and that's very simple.
Yeah. What do you find that you do to help protect what's important to you? And just thinking on this theme of your voice, like what do you do now to protect your voice so that you don't have people coming in trying to take these things from you anymore?
I spend time alone. I spend time alone. For me, praying help. Other people will play music. So I do solo trips and I love my time alone.
Yeah.
Before I used to fear being by myself, but you know what? If you are surrounded by people who don't care for you, you're actually more alone because you have crowd and you're more lonely because you expect that they will be around you. So I have a few people and I'm very blessed to have them. And if something happened with them, I will tell them as much as I love you, but maybe the time is also to go. It's like with food. You have eggs, milk, honey. Honey stay forever. Some people are eggs, some people are butter, some people, some people have an expiry date. It doesn't mean you didn't need them in your life. They came into your life because you grew together in a way. Even if it was through pain or joy, you learned from each other what to do or what not to do. So I don't take crunch. I don't speak to you, but I take the time together and I will not take it against us. So that's what I'm doing. And if I don't feel like doing something, I just say no. I can have guests in my house. If I feel very tired, I would say, I'm very sorry. I'm going to go sleep now because I'm really tired. And because they are my friends and so close, they have zero problem. They're having fun together in my house and I don't mind and I go and rest because I reach my limit.
Yes,
and that's the difference. Good. Yes.
It's being like you've been able to be around people where you can drop your guards, who can actually see you, like see into the core of who you are, and you're not having to pretend or perform, but be like you get to be you in the fullness, especially in whatever season you're in. And I'm so glad you share that because it is very powerful and important that we learn that the genuineness of having those friendships where we don't feel the pressure to perform or have to be perfect or say the right thing or entertain all the time. Right. So thank you for sharing that. What would you say?
Loyalty, loyalty, that's something that actually keep you prisoner, loyalty. Your loyalty. And that's something I also learned because your loyalty can build you like it can destroy you. Because if you stay loyal to a person who never had loyalty for you and respect, because in loyalty you have respect for the person, that's why you stay loyal to the person.
Yeah.
Why would you hold on someone who's only taking from you? Who you have to all the time jump and it's never a balance. It can't be like this.
Yes. Oh, it's good.
That's what I wanted to add. Sorry.
I'm so glad you did because I haven't heard many people talk about loyalty in that way because you hear it and you're like, oh, that's such a good thing. But no, you can be loyal to a fault, especially when you think of trauma bonding. Like that is a really unhealthy loyalty that you can have with somebody. So I'm really glad that you brought that up because there's a healthy and an unhealthy side and it's a spectrum to look at it in that way. What would you say to the women listening right now who feel silenced, ashamed, and afraid of what speaking up might cost her?
Close your eyes and breathe. Deep breath. And you do it a few times. You put your hands on your chest And the fact that you feel your breath, the air coming in and you blow back out, that's a sign you're alive. That means this is your life. And that means you don't have to stay in something that doesn't make you fulfilled or breaks you. You don't need that. Live your life and live it fully and respect yourself. What advice would you give to someone you really love? We all have one person when you say like, this is my person. What advice would you give that person when that person was in your shoes? What advice? Apply the same advice for yourself because you're worth it. Even though you thought and you lost your worth because so many things came your way, it's okay. But take it back in hand because healing is possible and you will grow because you know what it is to have pain. So you know how to endure it, but you don't have to keep enduring it because you can choose to break free from it. But only you can do that and no one else. And stop making excuses for the ones hurting yourself, hurting you. Because by giving them excuse, you hurting yourself even more because you will have the double guilt. So stop. Close your eyes again and breathe and make step. Bit by bit, find your power. Write about it. Speak about it. You must have one person, helplines to get out of there. Do it. Because it won't get better. The more people lose respect for you, the more abusive the relationship will be, that it's physical, mentally, sexual, whatever you go through, it gets worse. There is no better. And of course, they will make you believe, I will get help, I will do this. But did they actually? Because they have traumas. I've been through a lot of traumas. And that's the reason I prefer to take my distance from people than hurting them. So don't give them the excuse because there is no excuse that can excuse harming another person, feeling that it's physical, feelings, whatever it is, there is no excuse for that.
That's so good. That's so good. And what I hear you telling them is like basically taking the time to acknowledge that they are worth more than the situation that they've been in.
Exactly.
And to find that one safe person in their life that they can partner with to help get out.
But you have to be honest. Don't make it look nice.
Yeah.
I used to do for years, make it look nicer than the situation I was actually in. Because I didn't want the person to feel, no, it's a hostage situation in a way. You're emotionally hostage around the person. Stop that.
Yeah.
You are worth it. If you don't see it, clean your windows, clean your mirrors. Bit by bit, repeat, I'm worth it, I'm worth it. The more you repeat it, the more you're going to believe in it. But you have to start believing. You have to start from somewhere. It might sound ridiculous when you're saying it out loud in the beginning. But hey, I had to learn as well. And hug yourself. If there is no one to hug you, hug yourself. You don't need an army to get out of it. I did it as a child at 12. Then I did it as an adult. When I was married, I also get out. And there is life after whatever you've been through. Because the more you stay in there, the more you normalize and the more you say, it's okay to treat me like this. And you're not worth that. So remind yourself who you are.
Man, that is so good. And it's coming from someone who's lived this and done this multiple times.
Multiple times.
Stages.
I call myself a chameleon. Why? Because I adapt. But I always come back true to myself.
Yeah.
Because my values, I want to keep them intact. And don't become bitter because someone hurt you. The best solution is forgiveness. People say, oh, I forgive you. Do you actually forgive? Because I had this topic with a few ladies not so long time ago. Do you actually really forgive? I accept the person for what they are. But I will not forgive what they did to me. I will remember what they did to me. And I will forgive myself for thinking that I was the blame. That's my forgiveness for them.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. They can live their life. I'm very happy that they're doing well because They will see me also doing my life, but I will not look back or keep myself trapped in the past, because the past already took so much from me. I don't want it to take my future. So wherever you are, whoever you are, there are solutions. And if you have kids around, don't show them that this is normal to be loved like this, because that's not love.
So
because
true.
you normalize it for them. And they will think that they should accept certain things from their partners because their mother or their father did it, because it goes both ways.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah, that's so good. And I love that you also said...
And vitamin N, Jenna. Vitamin N.
I feel like that's that's going to be a thing.
That's your slogan, vitamin N.
I know. Oh my gosh, you got to coin that term. It's so good. Well, and I also love how you said to start with being honest, because that's the biggest struggle, right? It's living in denial and feeding the narrative that somebody's been told by somebody else who's been the abuser. And so being honest and not minimizing, not dismissing what has happened is so significant. And I think it's underestimated. Pamela, I am so thankful for this conversation. As we wrap up, I just want to see, where can people find you to connect with you and order your book?
My book will be on Amazon, 𝗦𝗫𝗫 Diaries, and I'm also on Instagram. So
awesome.
𝗦𝗫𝗫 Diaries.
𝗦𝗫𝗫.
And 𝗦𝗫𝗫, the name is the white Lingala, my mother language, means white. I mean, they give that name to white people. And Diaries is a journal. So I played, because I was the white child over there, so I played on the words. And it's also a blank page, a reminder that you can still start writing your own story. It's never too late. It's never too late. As long as you breathe, you're healthy, you fight. This is your life. Don't give other people to rule it or to tell you what is your capacity. Only you know what is your capacity.
Yeah, that's so good. And what day
you have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And what day does it get released, and can people pre-order?
23rd of September. Okay. 23rd September, yes.
Are people able to pre-order it on Amazon?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
23rd September, we will put it next week. I just finished it 3 days ago, the last final touch.
That is huge. I mean, to hear too about how it would, like, you were going to release this a year ago or so, and then to take it out,
remove it.
This is it. Like, it's happening. This is so exciting. I'm really excited for you to get your story out there, your book out there. I can't wait to get my hands on it too. I'll share all of that information in the show notes as well.
And you remind me something actually that I want to add.
Yeah, please.
Celebrate what you're doing well for yourself. Before I didn't do that. Sometimes it's just waking up and being able to make yourself a cup of coffee. Celebrate whatever achievement you managed to have. Even if it's to start from the betting to a job you got or any education you added, celebrate what you're doing well. Don't only focus what is going wrong, because then you go in that dark bubble. Go towards the light, and it's towards your inner. Do what fulfills you, and celebrate also what fulfills you and your achievements.
That's so good. I think celebration is underestimated as well. Like, we don't do that enough. And thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad you were able to add that, because it is so important. And yeah, Pamela, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. And I'm really, really, really excited for the women who will get to listen to this, because I know it's going to help them and give them a lot of hope, especially if they find themselves in a similar situation, or if they've been able to even get out of an abusive situation, but they're still they haven't really experienced the healing that is possible for them. So thank you for sharing. It means a lot. And I just also want to say, if Pamela's story has moved you, please share this episode with a friend who needs to know that she's not alone. Thank you so much for listening, friend. I cannot wait to talk with you next time.
Thank you, Jenna.
Thanks for listening to Let's Get Real. If you've been feeling stretched thin, stuck in survival mode, or like you've lost yourself in motherhood, I made something just for you. It's called the Overwhelmed Mom's Guide, and it's totally free. Inside, I walk you through simple steps to help you reconnect with who you are, find a bit more breathing room in your day, and start to feel like you again. You can grab it now. Just click the link in the show notes. You don't have to keep doing this alone. Let's take the next step together.